Not with the team, in the martial soul temple camp, but not supporting Bibidong, seizing power and becoming the Pope himself, reborn as the only grandson of the Golden Crocodile, but did not inherit the martial soul of the Golden Crocodile Emperor, instead awakening the six-winged angel. Just when Saga thought it was Chihiro's fault, he realized that it was inherited from another generation, and his mother's ancestors were originally from the Chihiro family. Awakening to the realm of heavenly law, perfectly controlling oneself, modifying the fixed soul skills of angel martial soul, and changing the first few soul skills to all attribute boosting soul skills. No need for soul skills, solve the enemy with one punch. Conquer the title Douluo, elevate Bibidong, and revitalize the martial soul hall. Cutting off the Hu immortal grass, cultivating promising subordinates, reviving Ain and Xiao Wu's mother. In the Soul Master competition, Xiao Wu and Tang San looked at their opponents with a sense of familiarity, afraid to take action, but their moves were fierce keywords of the novel. Douluo. Soul skill fully increased, I am an angel without a pop-up window, Douluo. Soul skill fully increased, I am an angel with a fist. Download the complete set of TXT, Douluo. Soul skill fully increased, I am an angel with a fist. Read the latest chapter of I Am an Angel with a Fist. Chapter 1. The Six-Winged Angel of the Golden Crocodile Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. The Six-Winged Angel of the Golden Crocodile Family. Douluo Continent, Wuhuan City, the Holy Land in the hearts of Soul Masters across the continent, is a miraculous city located between the two empires of Tiando and Xingluo. Today's martial soul city is particularly lively, with soul masters and their descendants waiting outside the martial soul main hall for awakening. The rare and powerful soul masters outside are also lining up honestly. The martial soul hall is the most powerful force on the mainland with a profound foundation, and it is also the headquarters of the martial soul hall. Even Soul Saint, Soul Douluo dare not cause trouble here. Father, why are we awakening here? Awakening here costs money, awakening in the village doesn't cost money. A chubby little man asked a burly man in confusion. The burly man slapped the back of the little chubby man's head, and he almost fell to the ground, holding the back of his head with tears in his eyes. Stupid. You're not following me at all. The village outside is free to awaken, but who are the awakeners? Just a group of great soul masters. Who is the awakened person in the martial soul main hall? That's a contra. Can the two be compared? The burly man cursed. I read in the book that the awakening of martial souls has nothing to do with the awakened person. Even a great soul master can awaken a genius with innate soul power, the chubby little muttered softly. How dare you talk back? For whom did I spend money to awaken in the martial soul hall? Isn't it for you? The burly man shouted loudly. He's right, the quality of talent has nothing to do with the awakening of martial souls. A flat voice came from behind. The burly man suddenly turned his head congested, like an angry bull. The next second, when he saw the owner speaking, he forced himself to calm down. The newcomer is about 1 meter tall, standing tall and upright, dressed in a golden white robe, with brown hair and brown eyes. On the surface, it appears to have a gentle demeanor, with gentle eyes like sunshine, and elegant and polite behavior. At first glance, it doesn't come from an ordinary family. Soul masters are scattered throughout the martial soul city, and if a brick is thrown down, it can hit 5 or 6 soul saints. People with a bit of brain tend to restrain their temper when they come to the martial soul city, afraid of provoking powerful enemies. What do you say to people without brains? Of course, he threw his body out of the martial soul city. Don't believe some false gossip, it will make you foolish, said Saga. The burly man instinctively retorted, everyone says that, it can't be false, can it? Saying too much doesn't necessarily mean being right. The truth is always in the hands of a few people, and your child understands better than you. The burly man was unhappy in his heart. If it weren't for his fear of provoking a strong enemy, he would have exploded long ago. Child, where's your father? Why did you come alone? My father has passed away for many years. Saga's tone was flat, and his expression did not fluctuate at all. I see, kid, could you repeat what you just said? I didn't seem to hear it clearly, the burly man said in a deep voice. People call my grandfather Golden Crocodile Douluo. The burly man trembled at the words, his mind tense, and he was sweating profusely. Staring at Saga in terror. Golden Crocodile Douluo. Most people may not have heard of this name. Because Golden Crocodile Douluo was a figure from nearly 200 years ago, it is rumored that he is the highest-ranking person in the Martial Soul Hall. This is the second offering in the Elder Hall of the Martial Soul Hall today. The power is extremely high, even the Pope claims to be a junior in front of the Golden Crocodile Douluo, dare not disrespect. The burly and strong man was fortunate enough to hear the legendary story of the Golden Crocodile Douluo in his grandfather's mouth, and knew that the Golden Crocodile Douluo was a level 97 title Douluo 100 years ago. Now that 100 years have passed, our strength is definitely stronger. Gudong. The burly man swallowed his saliva and gave himself 2 mouths, his dark face instantly bulging. With a loud bang, the burly man knelt down on one knee, his head tightly lowered. I don't know His Highness's identity. I have offended you so much, and I beg His Highness's forgiveness. Don't be nervous, I'm just an ordinary child. Ordinary and unremarkable. The burly man's mouth twitched, and if Saga was called Ping Ping Wuchi, what was he? Thank you, Your Highness. Are you from the seaside? How does Your Highness know? The skin is dark, with an indelible fishy smell on the body, and there is also a thick layer of calluses at the tiger's mouth, which is a very obvious feature. Your Highness has amazing eyesight, and I admire it. If Your Highness needs it, please give me your orders. There's no need to say many compliments, I don't like to hear them. Since you are from the seaside, you must have heard of whale glue, Sagia said lightly. The burly man's eyes lit up and he quickly said, have you heard that Your Highness needs whale glue? If there are any, send them to the Martial Soul Temple. I have a request to do something for Your Highness. Saga glanced at the burly man, but did not expect him to have a rough appearance but a lot of thoughts. He asked the burly man to find whale glue and deliver it to the Martial Soul Temple. Although he didn't mention the price, he wouldn't treat the burly man unfairly. This can be considered a transaction. The burly man said he wanted to do something for him, which went beyond the scope of trading. The other party wanted to join him. Do things for him. But let me give you a chance to find the 10,000-year whale gel. Saga took a step forward, crossed over the burly man, and walked directly to the door of the Martial Soul Hall. The gatekeeper saw Saga and immediately stopped him. Please present your credentials, Your Highness. Saga handed a voucher to the guard casually and said, take it for me first, I'll come and retrieve it later. The guard glanced at the voucher, reached out his hand on the side, and respectfully said, Your Highness, please come in. The second deity worships the only grandson, and this identity is top notch in the Martial Soul Hall. Even Juliana, the disciple of Pope Bibidong, is not as prestigious as Saga. In the absence of Qian Renxue, Saga is the most esteemed young person in the Martial Soul Hall. When Saga entered the main hall, the burly man breathed a sigh of relief, stood up, and patted the dust off his body. I was scared to death, luckily I reacted quickly enough, otherwise I would have gone crazy today, the burly man muttered to himself. However, I have also benefited from misfortune and received an opportunity. Seize this opportunity. Thinking of this, the burly man couldn't help but slap the little chubby guy on the back of the head. Learn more from your father. The chubby little man held the back of his head and took a cold breath. Dad, be careful. Am I your son or not? Every time he hits me, he uses so much force. Stinky kid. Dad, I humbly begged you for a fortune. How dare you talk back? The burly man lifted the chubby little man and beat him up. Tired from the fight, he scratched his head and said, "Isn't whale glue something that Chui Qing in Xinjiang use? Your Highness is so small that he can't use it. By the way, it must be for the Golden Crocodile Douluo." "That's right. Millennium Whale Gel may have a low effect on strong players like Golden Crocodile Douluo, so we need to find Millennium Whale Gel." The burly man rubbed his hands, pondering where to find the eternal whale glue. He has been like this for his whole life, it's difficult to go any further. But his son has not yet awakened his martial soul, there is still plenty of time. Be sure to hold on to Saga's thigh. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Six-Winged Angels. Generational Inheritance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Six-Winged Angels. Generational Inheritance. Inside the martial soul main hall, Bishop Chejel was surprised when he saw Saga and said, "Your Highness Saga. Why haven't you awakened at home? The old man is in seclusion. Is the Golden Crocodile Douluo Lord breaking through the 99-level Peerless Douluo? How could there be such a breakthrough? This seclusion will definitely end in failure." Saga is a traveler who has seen the Douluo continent in his past life and knows that the Golden Crocodile Douluo was still at level 98 when Tang Sanqing became a god. He did not reach level 99 of the Peerless Douluo, written as D, so he is not called the Extreme Douluo, but the Peerless Douluo. The seniority of the Golden Crocodile Douluo is even greater than that of Qiandooliu. Even Qiandooliu, who is a level 99 Peerless Douluo, wants to give the Golden Crocodile Douluo some face. Decades ago, the Golden Crocodile Douluo was already a level 98 Super Douluo. In order to break through level 99, the Golden Crocodile Douluo was kept in seclusion at the Temple of Worship all year round. The 99-level Peerless Douluo is not so easy to break through. The three major Peerless Douluo in the world are all those who participate in the Divine Examination. Qian Daolu participated in the Angel Divine Examination and became a level 99 Peerless Douluo with the help of Angel Divine Power. Poseidon participated in the Sea God Exam and became a level 99 Peerless Douluo with the help of the Sea God's Divine Power. Tang Chen is somewhat special. In his past life, some people said that Tang Chen became a level 99 Peerless Douluo on his own, so he was qualified to inherit the position of Shura God, although he ultimately failed. Some people say that Tang Chen also became a level 99 Peerless Douluo through Divine Examination. Saga has not studied it carefully in his past life, and it is unclear what kind of situation it is. However, it can be seen from this that it is difficult to break through the level 99 Peerless Douluo on your own. Bibidong and Tang San were able to quickly break through level 99 because they are twin martial souls and can use the opportunity to give the second martial soul a soul ring to enhance their soul power level. If nothing unexpected happens, even the Golden Crocodile Douluo cannot break through level 99 until death. But with the arrival of Saga, everything will change for it. In this life, Saga is the grandson of the Golden Crocodile Douluo. Golden Crocodile Douluo does not have the surname Jin, but his martial soul is the king of golden crocodiles, so he is given the title of Golden Crocodile. Saga's father's name is Sar, and for some unknown reason, Sar was unable to awaken the Golden Crocodile King, but instead awakened the Golden Crocodile. The Golden Crocodile King is one of the top martial souls, a powerful soul comparable to the Golden Holy Dragon, with stronger strength and defense than the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex. The quality of the degraded Golden Crocodile has been greatly reduced. After testing, its quality is Advanced Martial Soul, slightly weaker than blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex, and its innate soul power is level 6. Due to the degeneration of his martial soul, Sar became extreme and desperately exploited his potential for cultivation, wanting to prove himself. At the age of 48, he broke through level 70 and met a female companion while hunting souls. After a series of entanglements, the two got married and gave birth to Saga. When Saga was 3 years old, he went out to sea with his wife and never returned. Bishop Churg wiped the cold sweat off his forehead, feeling nervous. He dared to say such things, while others said he would definitely be beaten to death by the Golden Crocodile Douluo. Your Highness, please step into the formation. Saga walked into the formation with a calm expression, completely different from the tense appearance of others when they woke up. Bishop Churg sighed in his heart. Unfortunately, Saga's mentality is so excellent. If he could awaken the Golden Crocodile King, he would definitely achieve great success. He had heard about the father of Saga, and the soul of the Golden Crocodile King had degenerated. 9 out of 10, Saga's martial soul is also a golden crocodile. A one-word difference represents two types of life and achievement. No matter how good Saga's mentality is, awakening the Golden Crocodile martial soul, his future achievements cannot match those of the second sacrifice. There are many records about the degeneration of martial souls in the Martial Soul Hall, which is fatal to any family. The family of Douluo, the 4 worshipped male lions, also experienced a decline in their martial soul in the past few years. The martial soul of the flame lion degenerated into the flame lion, and the quality of their martial soul declined. The reason for the degeneration of the martial soul is still under investigation. Your Highness, please be prepared. Earth Dragon. Attachment. Bishop Churg's body swelled rapidly, his hands turned into huge claws, and dark yellow dragon scales appeared on his surface. His head turned into a ferocious dragon head, and a dragon tail emerged from behind. The aura belonging to dragon martial soul spreads, making people unable to hold their breath, their bodies tighten, and their heartbeat accelerates. Churg's clothes did not burst due to his enlargement, pressing tightly against his explosive muscles. His yellow vertical pupils emitted a faint light, and an 8-circle halo descended, landing at Churg's feet. 2 yellow, 3 purple, and 3 black. 8-ring soul Douluo. Churg shot 6 rays of light, injecting them into the 6 black stones on the ground. Suddenly, the black stone released a hazy glow, forming a pale golden light shield that enveloped Saga. Saga stood in the lampshade, warm all over. A little golden light emerged from the black stone and entered the body of Saga. Saga trembled slightly, his brow furrowed slightly, forcing his body to stop trembling. Extend your right hand. Churg stared at Saga with dark yellow vertical pupils. A brilliant light burst out, dyeing the entire house golden. Behind Saga appeared a divine figure with 6 wings, incredibly noble, emitting a divine aura. Churg felt this sacred aura and couldn't help but retreat. Exclaimed in surprise, the 6-winged angel. It's actually the 6-winged angel. How could it be? How could the people of the Golden Crocodile Douluo family awaken the 6-winged angel? Isn't the 6-winged angel the martial soul of the 1,000 families? Saga was also very surprised, as he had already prepared to awaken the Golden Crocodile. The plan is to awaken the Golden Crocodile and seek the immortal grass to transform its martial soul and elevate it back to become the king of the Golden Crocodile. Unexpectedly, he awakened the 6-winged angel. Is it that bastard Qinshuan Ji who turned my father green? The first thought in Saga's mind was that Chihiro did it. For a moment, Saga's eyes were solemn. If it were true, the matter would not be easy to solve. Meanwhile, offering to the depths of the temple under the statue of the heavenly god, Qian Daolu was meditating when a sudden divine aura interrupted him. Such a pure divine aura belongs to the 6-winged angel. Is it true that Shuer has returned? Qian Daolu was somewhat puzzled. In order to determine who emitted the sacred aura, Qian Daolu walked out of the temple after a long time absence. The guardian knight of the temple of worship knelt on one knee as he saw 1,000 paths flowing out of the gate. Has Shuer come back? Qian Daolu asked. The great offering, His Highness Qian Renxue has not yet left the pass. Only a very small number of people know about the undercover operation of Qian Renxue, and they have always claimed that he is practicing in seclusion within the Martial Soul Hall. Indeed, it's not Shuer. What day is today? Martial Soul Awakening Day, said the knight. 1,000 streams frowned. Is it the illegitimate child of a sick child? No, the sick child has been dead for 8 years. Even if there is an illegitimate child, it should have awakened his martial soul long ago. The illegitimate child of an illegitimate child. When Chihiro died of illness, he was already in his 50s. Perhaps he had illegitimate children in his 20s, and maybe he inherited it from another generation. Thinking of his son's absurd behavior, Qiandao flu caused a headache. He is a dignified angel Douluo, a generation of gentlemen. How did he give birth to a brute son? It's really embarrassing for thousands of families. But if the sick child awakens the six-winged angel, then the angel family will grow stronger, said Qiandao silently in his heart. The six-winged angel lineage has always had a sparse population, often with only one heir per generation. If this generation produces 2, the angel lineage will surely prosper. Whoosh! 1,000 streams flew out of the temple, searching along the direction of the sacred aura. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Innate Soul Power Level 20. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Innate Soul Power Level 20. The papal palace. The woman sitting on the highest throne, with her legs crossed and one hand holding the intelligence sent by the platinum bishop, clung to the throne with the scepter representing the Pope of the martial soul hall. The woman has a head of light purple hair, adorned with a gorgeous crown, adorned with several pure sapphires, each of which is of great value. Wearing silver skirts and armor, wrapped in light purple stockings on the legs, and wearing high heels on the feet. This disgusting aura is very weak, not that person's aura. Bibidong felt unhappy. This breath is unforgettable. She won't forget even when she dies. Has someone awakened the six-winged angel martial soul? It has been so many years and the sins you have created have not yet ended. As he muttered to himself, Bibidong's intelligence had already been squeezed into a mess. Chrysanthemum Douluo. Ghost Douluo. Bibidong said coldly. Under the Pope's crown. Ghost Douluo and Kikudoluo entered the papal palace and knelt down on one knee. Collect all the intelligence on awakening the martial soul today. I want to see it. Obey me. Yuguan and the ghost withdrew from the Pope's palace. On the way, Yuguan raised his orchid finger and casually said, "Old ghost, why do you think the Pope's crown requires intelligence on the awakening of martial souls?" "I don't know, I don't care either." "Dull, old ghost, you're becoming less and less human." Martial Soul Main Hall Bishop Churg's hands trembled as he felt as if he had inadvertently learned some incredible secrets. "Your Highness Saga, take back your martial soul," said Churg cautiously. Stop. Churg widened his eyes and knelt down in panic. Great offering. Saga turned around and behind him was the once heavenly Douluo, one of the 3 peerless Douluo currently, the invincible Qiandao flow of the sky. "Grandpa Qian," said Saga. He is the only grandson of Golden Crocodile Douluo, and naturally knows Qiandao. Qiandao was shocked and said, "Sagia. How could it be you?" 1,000 streams of thought never expected that it would be Saga who awakened the six-winged angel. How can the Golden Crocodile end up knowing this? Have you awakened the six-winged angel? It's obvious. Saga shrugged his shoulders and spoke calmly. "Stinky kid, do you know what this represents? I remember you were very smart." Qiandao saw Sagia's face calm and felt a headache. "I know, Grandpa Qian doesn't have to worry, things aren't as bad as you think." Saga shook his head and put away his martial soul. The holy light dissipated and the room suddenly darkened, making his gaze a bit uncomfortable for a moment. "It has nothing to do with the previous pope. I am only 6 years old this year, and the previous pope has passed away 8 years ago, so I have awakened to the six-winged angel." "There is another reason," said Saga calmly. "Do you know about Jir?" Qian Daolu was surprised. Qianxuanji's attack on his disciple fell into a lower position. Once the incident spreads, it will affect the reputation of the martial soul hall. Therefore, only two parties involved in Qianxuanji and Bibidong, as well as several major worshippers in the hall, are aware of the matter. The midwives, maids, and others have long been seeking medical treatment. I heard Grandpa talk about it. Qian Daolu nodded upon hearing the words. He actually thought about how to explain to Jean Crocodile, which was not related to Qian Sun's illness, but rather some distress. It cannot be Qianxuan disease, but there are still two six-winged angels in the world. One is Qian Renxue, who is still young and a woman, so the possibility of being Qian Renxue is 0. The other person is him. When Qiang Sunji was that kind of animal, he was worried that the Golden Crocodile might misunderstand him because of it. After all, there is a saying that goes. The upper beam is not straight, and the lower beam is crooked. Bishop Churg was trembling and wished he could burst his eardrums. As the highest-level Archbishop of the Martial Soul Hall, he was qualified to know many secrets of the Martial Soul Hall, such as the six-winged angel martial soul possessed by successive popes. However, he was still far from the core high level of the Martial Soul Hall. What Saga and Qiandao Lu said, which person at his level can hear? He won't be dealt with, will he? I know what's going on. A powerful voice came, and Golden Crocodile Douluo, dressed in golden armor and with a serious expression, walked in. Do you know the reason for the second offering? Qian Daolu asked. Great offering, we have been together for 100 years, and I know your character. It's impossible for you to do that kind of animal thing. Jiar's awakening of the six-winged angel also surprised me. The Golden Crocodile Douluo knew that Qiandao Lu had the demeanor of a gentleman and could never be as brute as Qianxuanji. Golden Crocodile Douluo looked at Saga and said, Do you know the identity of your mother? I don't know, no one has told me. Your mother comes from the Angel Legion. Back then, I accompanied your father on a soul hunting trip, along with your mother. She was an excellent woman who became a soul saint at the age of 40. Your father fell in love with him at first sight, and with my intentional matchmaking, the two quickly became husband and wife. Your mother's grandmother was once a member of 1,000 families, but instead of awakening the six-winged angel, she awakened the two-winged angel and joined the Angel Legion. So, can I be considered intergenerational? Said Saga. The soul masters of the Angel Legion have had some relationship with the Qianjia, and after the degeneration of the six-winged angel, they became the four-winged angel and the two-winged angel. Assuming that Qianjia is the legitimate lineage of the angel god, then the soul master of the Angel Legion is a commoner. In theory, every soul master of the Angel Legion may awaken the six-winged angel. But in reality, the low probability is terrifying, something that has never happened in 1,000 years. Today, a miracle happened to Saga. After 4 generations, I have inherited the six-winged angel. That's right. You're inherited from another generation. You stinky kid's luck is much better than your father. Golden Crocodile Douluo sighed. If Sar had awakened the six-winged angel back then, he probably wouldn't have become so paranoid, and in the end, the white-haired man gave the black-haired man away. The martial soul of the Golden Crocodile is far inferior to that of the six-winged angel. The six-winged angel is a divine-level martial soul. Currently, the strongest known martial soul in Douluo continent. What Haotian hammer, blue electric Tyrannosaurus rex, and 7 treasures glass pagoda are far inferior to six-winged angels. Qian Daolu breathed a sigh of relief. He was stronger than the Golden Crocodile Douluo, but he also had to respect the Golden Crocodile Douluo. The other party had a higher generation than him, and when he was young, he relied heavily on the Golden Crocodile Douluo. I see, I'll pass you the six-winged angel's exclusive meditation method when I come back. The great offering is the top secret of 1,000 families, said the Golden Crocodile Douluo. Qian Daolu waved his hand and said, Sagia has awakened a six-winged angel, which can be considered half of 1,000 family members. It's just a vague idea, it's nothing. If Saga has any misunderstandings about the six-winged angel soul in the future, you can come find me. Saga arched his hand and said, "Thank you, Grandpa Qian." Don't be polite to Grandpa Qian, quickly test your soul power. Bishop Churg held the crystal ball in front of Saga. Saga reached out his hand and pressed it onto the crystal ball. The dazzling light shines, far more dazzling than the innate soul power of the light. 20 levels of innate soul power. Churg exclaimed, his heart shaking. He seems to have learned some amazing secrets again. Is it possible for heaven to destroy him? Sure enough, Golden Crocodile Douluo nodded with satisfaction. The six-winged angel is the highest level of martial soul. Symbolizing the spokesperson of God, those who possess this kind of martial soul are not only innate full soul power, but also innate level 20 full soul power. Qian Dao Lu, Qian Sun Ji, and Qian Renxue are all innate level 20 soul powers. Qian Ji is known as a rare genius in 1,000 years by the Martial Soul Hall. His innate soul power must be very high, but he has just played with it. The 9th soul ring is black for 10,000 years, not 10,000 years. It can be seen that Qian Ji has not exercised his body too much. Otherwise, with the power of the Martial Soul Hall, it would be easy to help Qian Ji kill a 100,000-year-old soul beast. Hey, I remember he practiced for 6.5 years before reaching level 20. As soon as you woke up, you were at level 20. If he found out, he would definitely be very happy, sighed Golden Crocodile Douluo. If Sar's child had innate soul power of level 20, no, even if it was innate soul power of level 89, it would not be so extreme, nor would it be buried in the sea. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Golden Crocodile Show Off. Resonance of Angel Statues. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Golden Crocodile Show Off. Resonance of angel statues block the entire scene, and the news of Saga awakening the six-winged angel's martial soul cannot be spread. Qian Dao Lu ordered. Bishop Churg knelt down on one knee and said, "Obey the order of the grand offering." The knights of the martial soul hall quickly intervened and blocked the entire venue. The children waiting for awakening outside the door were arranged to awaken in another branch hall. At the same time, Bishop Churg voluntarily stated that he had not heard anything and would never reveal anything about what happened today to the public. Qian Dao Lu did not deal with Churg and only gave 2 warnings. There were 2 reasons. Firstly, he only talked about Qian Xuanji and did not mention his bad deeds. Secondly, he was the highest level archbishop with great value, and Qian Dao Lu did not want to deal with him. The bishop of the Martial Soul Palace not only looks at combat effectiveness, but also at management and earning ability. Churg's ability to reach the highest level of bishop indicates his excellent management skills. A few minutes later, Saga was brought to the temple of worship by Qian Dao Lu and Golden Crocodile Douluo. The sacrifice hall is the foundation of the Martial Soul Hall and is not under the jurisdiction of the Pope. Each enshrined person is a powerful figure above level 95. Having strength stronger than the strongest of the upper 3 sects and the lower 4 sections. It is also the main factor for the Martial Soul Hall to suppress the mainland and become the first force. Several worshippers were not yet aware of the awakening of the six-winged angel by Saga. They were surprised to see the grand and second worshippers leading a child in. Idle people are not allowed to enter the temple of worship, and even the granddaughter of the grand worship, Qian Renxue, cannot enter the temple of worship casually. The 3 geniuses who claim to be the golden generation of the Martial Soul Hall are not qualified and have never entered the worship hall. Xiongshi Douluo recognized Saga and whispered, "That is Saga, the only grandson worshipped by air." A few worshippers suddenly realized, "I see. Today is Martial Soul Awakening Day, and that child should have just awakened their martial soul. I remember that the martial soul of Urji's son had degenerated, but Urji was clearly very happy. Can it be said that Saga inherited Urji's Golden Crocodile King? After the degradation of the martial soul, can it still be further improved? A red light flashed in the eyes of Xiongshi Douluo, and the martial soul of his family also degenerated, for an unknown reason. Golden Crocodile Douluo patted Seijia's head and said to several worshippers, "This is my grandson Seijia. Please take good care of him in the future." Saga has seen 3 offerings, 4 offerings, 5 offerings, 6 offerings, and 7 offerings, said Saga respectfully. Several worshippers nodded. Saga's appearance is different from that of the Golden Crocodile Douluo, with a delicate face that resembles a noble young master, completely different from the image of the Golden Crocodile Douluo. Being good-looking and polite can easily create a favorable impression. Brother Golden Crocodile, seeing you so happy, what good news do you have? Speak it out to make everyone happy too, said Xiongshi Douluo. Golden Crocodile Douluo grinned and finally arrived at this scene. What is your favorite thing when you get old? Of course it's showing off the younger generation. The younger generation is more successful than he himself in breaking through. Previously, Sao's talent was weak and his martial soul had degenerated, making it impossible for him to show off. He could only watch Lingyuan Douluo and Douluo show off. Saga, show your martial soul to the several grandfathers who worship you, said the Golden Crocodile Douluo proudly. Several worshippers exchanged a glance, thinking that Saga had inherited the spirit of the Golden Crocodile King. Congratulations to Brother Golden Crocodile, the family's martial soul has evolved again. Lingyuan Douluo heard a sound halfway through his words. 6-winged angel. Attachment. A cluster of holy light flickered, and behind Saga grew 6 pure white wings, with strands of holy light surrounding the body, spreading a pure and sacred aura. The statue of the 6-winged angel enshrined in the temple shines brightly, resonating with the martial soul of the 6-winged angel in Saga, casting a large amount of holy light. Saga is like an apostle walking on earth for the angels and gods, with a huge 6-winged angel phantom appearing behind him. Several worshippers widened their eyes and looked at Saga incredulously. What's the situation? Didn't we agree on the martial soul of the Golden Crocodile King? Why suddenly turned into a 6-winged angel martial soul? And resonated with the angel statue. Qian Daolu was also stunned. He had never had such a large scale resonance with the angel statue before. Even though Qianren Snow has already received the attention of the angel god and obtained the 9 exams of the angel god, why does the angel god still resonate with Saga? What's going on? Why did Saga awaken the 6-winged angel soul? Lingyuan Douluo said dryly. For a moment, Lingyuan Douluo thought a lot. Subsequently, Golden Crocodile Douluo recounted the story of Saga's intergenerational inheritance. Upon hearing this, several worshippers couldn't help but marvel at Saga's good luck in inheriting the 6-winged angel through intergenerational transmission. One of the strongest martial souls on Douluo continent, a divine-level martial soul. Without any accidents, one will definitely become a title Douluo. As for the extent to which she can grow, it depends on her own efforts. It doesn't mean that if you have a strong martial soul, you will definitely become a strong one. A strong martial soul is the foundation for becoming a strong one. Without a foundation, you cannot become a strong one. The effort in the day after tomorrow is also very important. 2 people with the same martial soul and innate soul power, one who works hard to cultivate and the other who puts in rotten salted fish, will definitely surpass those who put in rotten salted fish in the future. Having the 6-winged angel soul means that Saga's becoming a title Douluo is a definite thing. To become a super Douluo, or even a peerless Douluo, one needs to work hard enough from the day after tomorrow. The previous Pope Qianshuan Ji is a good example, with an innate soul power of 20 levels, known as a genius in the martial soul hall that never appears for 100 years. As a result, due to insufficient effort, the 9th soul ring only lasted for 10,000 years and did not become a super Douluo. It was beaten to death by the hammer. How much innate soul power do you have? 6 worshippers, Qianjun Douluo, asked. 20 levels, said Saga. The innate soul power is at level 20, just like His Highness Qian Renxue. It's really enviable, it saves years of cultivation. Lingyuan Douluo sighed. His martial soul is the Lingyuan divine bird, with innate soul power. The Lingyuan in Douluo continent is a divine bird with the same status as the phoenix, and its quality is no weaker than that of the blue electric Tyrannosaurus rex. It took him over 2 years to cultivate from level 10 to level 20. Don't underestimate the past 2 years. For young soul masters, one step is fast, one step is fast. Soul Master level 30 is a threshold, and the faster you break through to level 30, the smoother your future cultivation will be. If you haven't broken through level 30 when you're young, it's basically difficult for this Soul Master to move forward. Xiongshi Douluo looked disappointed. He thought he could get a way to recover his martial soul from the Golden Crocodile Douluo. The corner of the Golden Crocodile Douluo's mouth curled up, unable to suppress it, and it felt great to show off its younger generation. No wonder Lingyuan always flaunts his granddaughter. It's really enjoyable. Especially when he saw the surprised and envious gazes of several worshippers, the Golden Crocodile Douluo felt a bit more satisfied than when he broke through level 90 and became a title Douluo. Qian Daolu stared at Saga and asked, Saga, do you feel anything? Saga shook his head, wondering why the angel statue resonated with him but didn't give him anything. Don't give me some soul bones, just give me a divine test. He doesn't expect the angels and gods to take 9 exams, just give 8 exams and 7 exams. Qian Daolu touched his chin and fell into contemplation. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Heavenly Law Domain. Perfect Control of Oneself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Heavenly Law Domain. Perfect Control of Oneself. 3 days have passed in the blink of an eye. For the past 3 days, Saga has been studying angelic meditation in the temple of worship. Angel meditation is the highest level meditation method, perfectly compatible with the 6-winged angel soul, and is the most suitable meditation method for Saga. According to Qian Daolu, the angel meditation method originates from the angel god, and there is no meditation thought on the continent that can surpass the angel meditation thought. Saga, where is there anything else I don't understand? Asked Qian Daolu. Saga slowly opened her eyes, and strands of golden light flowed through them. I have fully understood, thank you for your guidance, Grandpa Qian. With a smile on his face, Qian Daolu was satisfied with 100 sagas in his heart. He was polite, talented, and so talented. The martial soul hall should be in high spirits. Learning the angel's meditation in 3 days is much faster than he did before. It took Qian Renxue 5 days to learn the idea of angel's underworld, and Qian Xuanji 8 days, but he didn't learn as fast as Saga. Learning speed does not represent cultivation talent, but how could Saga's cultivation talent be weak with the 6-winged angel martial soul? In fact, Qian Daolu didn't know that on the first day, Saga learned the idea of the angel's abyss. In the next 2 days, I want to change my angelic meditation thoughts to automatic meditation to increase my cultivation speed. Although Saga has not yet succeeded, he has also gained insight. He will gradually explore and eventually succeed. Since you have learned the angel's dark mind, let me tell you some special features of the 6-winged angel's martial soul. The 6-winged angel is a divine-level martial soul, and its soul power is pure divine energy with purification and melting effects. Equipped with an angel realm, it can purify the opponent's soul power, restrict them, and increase oneself in battles. In addition, all soul ring skills of the 6-winged angel soul are fixed. So when hunting souls, you need to pay attention that soul beasts cannot choose dark attributes. It is best to choose light attribute soul beasts, followed by fire attribute soul beasts. The soul ring attribute matches your own attributes, which will greatly enhance the power of soul ring skills. Like water attribute soul beasts, earth attribute soul beasts can also be used, but the improvement brought by light attribute soul beasts is not as great. Attention! Never choose dark attribute soul beasts. Doing so would waste the power of the six-winged angel. The last sentence, with a strong tone, seemed to have happened before, making him very angry and helpless. Upon hearing this, Saga thought of Chihiro's illness. 9 out of 10, it was Qiang Sunji who obtained the Dark Soul Ring and wasted the power of the six-winged angel. When reading Douluo novels in his past life, Saga felt something was wrong. Qianshuan Ji is equipped with the strongest martial soul, and his level is also higher than Tang Hao. With multiple title Douluo assistants around him, he unexpectedly lost to Tang Hao, who had just become a title. It's unbelievable. Although Qianshuan is a waste of illness, the 9th soul ring is not even 100,000 years old, and Tang Hao can still explode the ring. The difference should not be so large. Tang Hao's combat power will not soar to the Super Douluo level after exploding the ring. The gap between each level of the title Douluo is significant. Qianshuan disease level 95. Martial soul or six-winged angel. I can't even beat Tang Hao. Shame on the six-winged angel soul. Some people in the past said that the Shura god secretly helped Tang Hao, but the real Tang Hao was not that strong. Saga believes that it is not only due to the intervention of the god Shura, but also partly due to the waste caused by the illness of Chihiro. The six-winged angel has two attributes: ultimate light and ultimate flame. Qianshuan Ji does not absorb the light attribute and fire attribute, but instead absorbs the dark attribute soul ring. No wonder he is so weak. The 9th soul ring is only black. Shame on the six-winged angel soul. Grandpa Qian, I won't absorb the dark soul ring. Okay. When do you want to go soul hunting? Qian Daolu asked. Wait a little longer, I have an idea. Oh. What idea? Can't the soul ring skill of the six-winged angel soul really be changed? Saga asked seriously. Qian Daolu walked up to the angel statue with his hands on his back and said, No, the soul ring skill of the six-winged angel has been passed down for tens of thousands of years and has not been changed by any generation. The soul ring skill is set by the angel god and is the most suitable for the six-winged angel soul, and there is no need to change it. Most suitable for the six-winged angel soul. Saga does not agree with Qian Daoliu's words. Although Qiandao flow is strong, it does not mean that Qiandao flow is correct. The skills of the six-winged angel soul are mostly aggressive soul skills. There are individual attacks and group attacks, both in form of energy and spirit. This makes the six-winged angel soul highly aggressive, and having multiple attack methods gives it the ability to counter complex combat situations. The drawbacks are also very obvious. There is no powerful amplification soul skill. There is no ultimate attack method. Being too comprehensive is mediocre. The only holy sword with an amplification effect can increase the purification effect of angel soul power by 300%, and the amplification effect of interchangeable skills will disappear. How can Yang Wudi, the leader of the Breaking Clan, entangle himself with the title Douluo in the realm of Soul Douluo? Isn't it because all his soul skills increase attack power? Why is the Seven Treasures Glass Pagoda called the world's first auxiliary weapon, the martial soul? Isn't it because the soul skill effect of the Seven Treasures Glass Pagoda increases a certain ability by a percentage or by a group? Choosing aggressive soul skills for the first, second, and third soul skills is truly unwise and far inferior to amplification-type soul skills. When it comes to fighting enemies at the Douluo level, the first, second, and third soul skills are rarely used. Because the first, second, and third soul rings have a low lifespan and low power, it's better to use the later soul rings. The amplification type soul skill is different, it can be used at any level, and the higher the realm, the greater the improvement brought by the amplification soul skill. In his past life, when Saga was browsing videos, he heard a saying. One generation of hammers, one generation of strong hammers, one generation of hammer kings hammering the Pope. It is clear that the six-winged angel is the highest quality martial soul, but Qian Daolu was hammered by Tang Chen, Qian Xuanji was hammered by Tang Hao, and Qian Renxue was hammered by Tang San. Qian Jia Sandai was hammered by Tang Jia Sandai. Not showing the strength of the strongest martial soul of the six-winged angel at all. Saga doesn't want to repeat the same mistake. He wants to show the world what the strongest martial soul is. Just because 1,000 families cannot change their soul skills for thousands of years doesn't mean they can't change it. His confidence comes from his field. Heavenly Law Domain. That's right, he hasn't awakened from the realm of angels. But it awakened a whole new field. The Heavenly Law Domain has been opened, which can increase the full attributes of Saga by 20% and bring absolute control to Saga. Perfectly control every part of your body. The Heavenly Law Domain has brought the possibility for Saga to change her soul ring skill. Don't think about changing your soul skills anymore. The Martial Soul Hall is home to a group of light attribute soul beasts in the bright forest, where you can go and obtain the first 2 soul rings. Qian Daolu turned around and said to Saga. Well, Saga understands. Saga stood up and left the temple of worship. Qian Daolu looked at Sagia's back and murmured to himself, another six-winged angel, not yet from the Qian family. Shuer is a perfect spouse, and her descendants will definitely inherit the six-winged angel without degradation. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Lingyuan Douluo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Lingyuan Douluo. Saga's residence is located in the core area of the Martial Soul Temple, closely adjacent to the Martial Soul Temple, with many knights guarding outside. Outsiders cannot approach at all, it is very safe. The people who can live here are all core members of the Martial Soul Hall, such as Hulayina, a disciple of Bibidong, Ju Douluo Moon Pass, Gue Douluo Ghosts, and so on. Returning home, 2 maids dressed Saga and she walked into the study. The maid sensible pinched Sagia's shoulders and legs. Saga doesn't pretend to be a gentleman like some of the interlopers. In Saga's view, anything that is not used to being served by others is just a prank. Who doesn't want to be served comfortably? I didn't have a chance in my past life, but I was able to enjoy it after traveling, but I deliberately didn't enjoy it. Isn't that a problem with my mind? Human beings have an instinct called huddling, and if you act out of place, others won't want to come into contact with you. He doesn't look for maids and won't be looked down upon by others. Instead, it makes people feel that he is isolated and difficult to interact with. Bang! The study door was violently pushed open. After seeing the person, the 2 maids knelt down in fear, trembling with fear. Mr. Golden Crocodile Douluo. Golden Crocodile Douluo glanced at the 2 maids and said, "You stinky kid, you quite enjoy it. I remember your father didn't even enjoy it like you did. Old man, speak up if you have anything." Saga held a book in one hand and patted the maid's shoulder with the other. "Keep pressing, don't worry about the old man," she said. The 2 maids stood up trembling and continued to massage Saga. The corner of the Golden Crocodile Douluo's mouth twitched slightly, and he asked himself in his heart if he had indulged himself too much. After suffering a tragic loss of his son, Golden Crocodile Douluo doted on Saga very much. Basically, whatever Saga wanted, Golden Crocodile Douluo could find him. Have you learned the angel's dark mind yet? Nature has learned. Tomorrow I will take you to hunt souls and find the soul beast closest to the limit for you. Golden Crocodile Douluo thinks it's difficult for him to break through level 99, but if he trains Saga well, he may be able to surpass him. To break through level 99, the most crucial thing is the foundation. That's the age of the soul ring. The soul ring configuration is too poor to become a title Douluo. The 9th soul ring is not a 100,000-year soul ring and cannot break through level 98. This is the conclusion drawn after studying the martial soul hall for thousands of years. Don't worry, wait a little longer, Saga said lightly. What are you waiting for? The earlier you break through, the better, said Golden Crocodile Douluo. After reaching the limit of a level, a soul master can continue to cultivate, but because they have not obtained a soul ring, their level will not change and their soul power will accumulate. After obtaining a soul ring, the accumulated soul power will explode and increase their level at once. But no soul master will intentionally not break through and accumulate soul power. The cultivation speed of the great soul master and the soul lord is different. The soul power that the soul lord cultivates in a day is much greater than the soul power that the soul master cultivates in a day. Intentionally not breaking through will only slow down one's own promotion speed. Old man, you should know the maximum absorption period of soul rings. Nonsense. Can I not know? Golden Crocodile Douluo said angrily. The first soul ring has a lifespan of 423 years, the second soul ring has a lifespan of 764 years, the third soul ring has a lifespan of 1760 years, the fourth soul ring has a lifespan of 5000 years, the fifth soul ring has a lifespan of 12,000 years, the sixth soul ring has a lifespan of 20,000 years, the seventh soul ring has a lifespan of 50,000 years, the eighth soul ring has a lifespan of less than 100,000 years, and the ninth soul ring has a lifespan of about 100,000 years. In the eyes of the world, this theory was published by Yu Xiaojiang. Kosagia found similar records in the book collection hall of the Martial Soul Hall, but they were scattered and published earlier than the time when Yu Xiaojiang had just released them. It indicates that Yu Xiaojiang's theory of the absorption period of martial souls was not developed by him, but rather shamelessly published it as his own research after summarizing the records of the Martial Soul Hall. I want to level up and absorb soul rings, said Saga. The later stage of Douluo's novels proved that the theory of soul ring absorption years proposed by Yu Xiaojiang was actually incorrect. The soul qualities and physical fitness of different soul masters vary, just like the physical fitness of soul masters in animal martial souls far exceeds that of weapon martial souls, and the gap between soul masters in animal martial souls is also significant. For example, can the physical fitness of a solo wolf martial soul master be comparable to that of a blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex martial soul master? The absorption period is also related to the compatibility between soul beasts and soul rings. It is impossible to have a unified standard for the age of soul rings. In theory, as long as the physical fitness is strong enough, even if the first soul ring is 9,999 years old, it can be done. As for 10,000 years, it's not enough because there will be soul tremors in 10,000 years, and it requires strong spiritual strength to be able to do so. No way. It's too dangerous. I am confident. Saga is well aware of the danger of absorbing soul rings beyond his level. It is not easy to absorb soul rings beyond the level. Saga has read many Douluo fan novels in his past life, and the protagonist can easily absorb millennium, 10,000, and even 100,000-year soul rings by forging his body for a few years. In the real world of Douluo, this is absolutely impossible. If forging can increase the lifespan of absorbing soul rings, wouldn't those major sects and families invent forging techniques? Do you really think everyone in the world is a fool? If everyone is fooled, then he must be a fool himself. Douluo has a huge population base, and there must be many geniuses who have invented the forging method, but no one has broken the limit. Why is this? Because the first soul ring has a lifespan of 423 years, which is the maximum number of soul rings that can be reached after forging, medicinal bathing, and various resource support. Excellent talents remain unbroken like 1,000 snows, and the twin martial soul ratio remains unbroken like Bibidong. Tang San was able to break the limit because he had been practicing exotic martial arts since childhood. He had 100,000 years of soul beast blood in his body, had eaten immortal grass, and carried twin martial souls. One martial soul was a top-level weapon soul, while the other had the potential to be promoted to a top-level plant martial soul. Without the opportunities and conditions of Tang-san, whoever dares to absorb beyond their level will die. In fact, Tang-san's first soul ring can absorb soul rings that are close to the limit year, which is considered his fortune. Yuxiagang is lucky. If you were an ordinary genius with innate soul power, from poor snacks, poor living conditions, and poor physical nutrition, absorbing soul rings for 400 years would be like seeking death. Yu Xiaojiang only knows the limit of 423 years, but he doesn't know that this limit was set by the Golden Crocodile Douluo. The Golden Crocodile Douluo is naturally full of soul power and top-level beast martial soul. Moreover, since childhood, the Golden Crocodile Douluo's body has been very strong, with innate divine power, which can absorb soul rings from 423 years. The first soul ring absorbed by Qiandao Lu back then did not reach its limit. Saga, who is not mentally disabled, believes that he can easily break the soul ring and absorb years. He had already made a plan to become stronger earlier. Before that, you have to prove to me that you can really break the limit, said the Golden Crocodile Douluo with his golden eyes fixed on Saga. What a lovely old man. Saga smiled and said, I understand. By the way, old man, can you transfer the moon spirit to me as a guard? The moon spirit is the future spirit Yuan Douluo, and the martial soul flame spirit Yuan, under the command of Bibidong, joined forces with several other titled Douluo to attack the Seven Treasures Liuli sect. Later, under Bibidong's leadership, they besieged the two forest kings, Daming and Erming, but died in the hands of the two beasts due to their eagerness for quick success and instant benefits. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Whale Glue and Thousand Renxue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Whale Glue and Thousand Renxue. Jean Crocodile Douluo's face turned black and he said, You think it's beautiful. Moon Spirit is a level 89 soul Douluo. If you level up one more level and obtain another soul ring, you can become a title Douluo. How can you be a guard? Qian Renxue, that girl has two titled Douluo guards. Can't I have one soul Douluo guard? She's on a mission. It's very dangerous, that's why I gave her two titles of Douluo as guards. You live in the martial soul palace and don't go out, there's no danger, there's no need for such strong guards. Old man, I'll leave this matter to you. You know, I've lost my parents since I was young. Shut up. I know. I'm not sure if it can be done. Golden Crocodile Douluo angrily said. It's better for me to be the old man. Saga praised the Golden Crocodile Douluo slightly. Children who cry have sugar to eat. Saga, who has been human for 2 generations, is well aware of the love of the Golden Crocodile Douluo for his licking of the calf. No. How do you know that Qian Renxue has 2 titles of Douluo guards? Also. Why do you know Qianren Snow? Golden Crocodile Douluo suddenly reacted. If it weren't for Saga being his grandson, he would have suspected that Saga was an undercover agent. This is not important. Stinky kid. This is very important. It concerns the safety of Qianren Snow. If I say I remember my memories from birth to now, do you believe it? Babies have poor memory, and although Douluo continent has mystical powers, it still lacks the memories of infancy. Golden Crocodile Douluo looked at Saga and was very satisfied with this grandson. I have shown a different side from ordinary people since I was young. I learned Douluo language at the age of 1, learned all the characters at the age of 2, and started reading at the age of 3. While other children were playing and frolicking, he was reading a book. While other children were sleeping soundly, he was exercising. Self-discipline, early maturity, and intelligence are labels that Saga has had since childhood. Looking back at his past self, he was far inferior to Saga. At least before the age of 6, he was unwilling to read books or exercise. It was his father who forced him to exercise. Do you really have memories of being a baby? Jean Crocodile Douluo asked unconfident. When I was 2 years old, Renxue came back and even hugged me, nibbling on me several times. She was accompanied by 2 people, one with a fierce appearance and a tattoo on her left eye, while the other looked somewhat frivolous and wore snake and lin armor. Even in the martial soul hall, there are several powerful individuals with titles such as Douluo. Just a little investigation reveals that they are Snake Spear Douluo and Sting Porpoise Douluo. Saga's words were well founded, and the Golden Crocodile Douluo believed Saga's words. Humph, stinky kid, you're quite impressive. Let's put this aside for now. Can you explain to me why someone was looking for whale glue? Do you know the function of that thing? Find whale gel and request moon spirit to be the guardian. Combining the two, Golden Crocodile Douluo cannot do without much thought. He has seen Yueling, a rare beauty with good talent and outstanding appearance. He is still single and has many pursuers in the martial soul hall. However, after Moon Spirit became a soul Douluo, few people dared to openly pursue Moon Spirit, fearing that it would explode into murder. Soul Douluo is also classified into different levels. Moon Spirit is young, with soul power close to the title Douluo. If there are no accidents, it will become a title, and the concept of soul Douluo with depleted potential is different. Old man, you are very well informed. You also know about my search for whale glue, Sagia laughed. If you were a little older, I wouldn't stop you, but you're too young now, it's the golden age for cultivation. Don't get addicted to women and waste your talent, said the Golden Crocodile Douluo with a long focus. Old man, have you ever seen me do something unwise? The Golden Crocodile paused in battle. Saga has always had a sense of propriety and planning in his work. Saga stood up and waved his hand to signal the maid to go out. The 2 maids dared not stay any longer and immediately left the room. Then, Saga walked to the bookshelf, opened the books outside, and took out a box from inside. Saga breathed a sigh and blew away the dust on the box. Crunching open the box. Inside is a yellowish-brown substance. Millennium Whale Glue. A Millennium Whale Gel with a relatively poor appearance. Old man, based on my research, I have found that whale gel can enhance the body and enhance various abilities. A well-preserved whale gel can increase the absorption time of soul rings by about 500 years. As for Xiang and Suiqing, they are just side effects of whale glue while strengthening the body. People are ignorant and mistakenly consider side effects as the main effect, which has earned whale glue a shameless reputation for many years. Bang. The Golden Crocodile Douluo squeezed the armrest of the chair beside him, looking extremely serious. Are you telling the truth? Old man, I don't need to lie to you, Saga played with Millennium Whale Glue. Why hasn't anyone noticed before? There is always a shortage of smart people in the world. It's simple, Millennium Whale Glue has attracted many nobles to pursue it due to its side effects, and its price remains high. A gold soul coin can provide a comfortable life for a family of 3 for 3 months, and the price of a piece of whale glue is usually above 10,000 gold soul coins. Ordinary soul masters cannot afford it, while noble soul masters buy it for their own use and not for children, resulting in no lower-level soul masters eating Millennium Whale Glue, only soul masters above the 4th ring. 500 years of experience does not significantly improve soul masters above the 4th ring, and the side effects can make people excited. Most people may mistake it for an illusion, so it has not been discovered by people. Saga picked up a book, took out a piece of paper from it, and handed it to the Golden Crocodile Douluo. Here is the experiment I conducted. Golden Crocodile Douluo looked down and realized that the earliest time was a year ago. That is to say, at the age of 5, Saga discovered the uniqueness of Millennium Whale Glue. And through research and experimentation, the effect of Millennium Whale Glue was ultimately determined. 5 years old. Conduct experiments. Is this reasonable? It's not reasonable at all. What Saga did doesn't seem like a child at all. But in front of the facts, even if Golden Crocodile Douluo doesn't believe it, he can still believe it. If Saga had not followed him since childhood and had shown a different side from a normal child since childhood, he might have doubted whether Saga had disguised herself as a soul beast. The most important thing is that he must be his grandson. Sao's son. As soon as Saga gave birth to the house, he hugged Saga happily for a long time. Golden Crocodile Douluo took a deep breath and said, "Did you eat Millennium Whale glue?" "Not yet. Eating Millennium Whale gel once will produce antibodies, and eating it again will not bring any improvement. The Millennium Whale glue I used for the experiment and the piece in my hand were both purchased from the treasure pavilion. The quality is not good and cannot be improved by 500 years, which is about 400 years. I want a perfect piece of Millennium Whale glue," Saga wrote. "Well, you're doing the right thing. Strive for every improvement in order to become a strong person. Have you ever thought of submitting the intelligence about whale gum to the Martial Soul Hall?" Jean Crocodile Douluo didn't force Saga, he just asked. Saga is his only grandson. The Golden Crocodile Douluo can still distinguish who is important between his grandson and the Martial Soul Hall. He thought of Saga's request. If Saga had contributed to the submission of whale glue intelligence and had Moon Spirit serve as Saga's guard, Bibidong would have no reason to stop him. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Little grass frequently chopped by thunder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Little grass frequently chopped by thunder. Saga looked up at the tall Golden Crocodile Douluo and said, "Old man, you should know that the current pope is abnormal. I have awakened the six-winged angel soul, and she probably wants to kill me. Submitting now is not a good time. At least we need to wait until we collect more than half of the whale glue circulating in the market before submitting more than half." "What do you want to do, kid?" "Don't do anything, want to be a way out for us. The Martial Soul Hall is more beautiful than Bibidong. It is tempting, but if you approach it, you will die a miserable death. Bibidong has fallen into extreme paranoia, wanting to destroy the Martial Soul Hall and pit the whole world. If you don't have absolute strength to confine it as a pet, don't expect to be close to it." "Stinky kid, you really don't want me to relax a bit?" Jean Crocodile Douluo shook his head. "The matter of Moon Spirit seems to require some human favor." Golden Crocodile Douluo left. When he left, he told Saga that he would receive news in 3 days. Saga stood by the window, carrying both hands on his back, gazing at the nearby Martial Soul Temple. A lovely old man. A maid walked in and whispered, "Your Highness, Su Yuntao is here. Call in." In a moment, a young man nervously entered the room and saw the back of Saga, kneeling on one knee. "See your Highness." Saga turned around and looked up and down at the rumored blind eyes of Wang Suyuntao. "I don't know how many Douluo Doran protagonists want to receive the title of abandoned martial soul from Su Yuntao. He doesn't believe in Su Yuntao's foolish words that if he says, abandon the martial soul, he will definitely become a god in the future. So many abandoned martial souls awakened by Su Yuntao, have they all become gods? Have you ever awakened a genius with innate soul power?" Saga's words were an inquiry, but his tone was affirmative. "Your Highness, I have awakened 2 geniuses with innate soul power," Su Yuntao said honestly. He didn't know who the person in front of him was, but he knew that the child in front of him was something he couldn't provoke. Living in the most luxurious palace next to the Martial Soul Temple, as long as you're not foolish, you know that Saga is not easy. Your status is extremely prestigious. Oh. 2 people. Saga turned around. There are 2, but one is abandoned martial soul blue silver grass and the other is soft bone rabbit. Hee, a rabbit, a blade of grass. Unexpectedly, Su Yuntao was also the one who issued the certificate to Xiao Wu. The protagonist Tang San attends Notting College and requires a Soul Master Awakening certificate for admission. The Douluo novel does not specify who gave the little dance certificate. The credentials for both the male and female protagonists were sent by Su Yuntao. Su Yuntao is not a clone of the Shura god, is he intentionally guiding the two? Your Highness, have you seen those two innate geniuses full of soul power? I know where they are, Su Yuntao said cautiously. Sagia smiled. He didn't want to see Tang San, nor did he take Tang San seriously. Tang San is 2 years older than him, but so what? When Tang went to Shrek College at the age of 32, he was only in the 29th grade. He was born at level 20, easily surpassing Tang San. And he doesn't believe in fate. Tang San is destined to become a god. If he overthrows the martial soul hall, he doesn't believe it at all. If the Shura god secretly helped Tang San, he still believed some, but that's all. If the Shura god secretly assists Tang San, then include the Shura god in the calculation. In this lifetime, as the grandson of the Golden Crocodile Douluo, he leaned against the temple of worship, which can be said to have almost filled his family attributes. There were many ways to crush Tang San. Tang San is just a small and medium-sized stone on his path to becoming a god. With just a slight kick, he can kick this stone into a vast abyss. Su Yuntao, here's a task for you. Your Highness, please give orders. Su Yuntao is excited, and there are too many benefits to being able to serve someone like Saga. Just because Saga didn't mention rewards doesn't mean there's no reward. Su Yuntao is not foolish. Monitor the blue-silver grass soul master who has innate soul power. You don't need to keep an eye on him every day. Once he leaves Nodding College, you can spread the news as quickly as possible. Please rest assured, Your Highness. I will definitely do it well for you. There's one more thing. Saga took out a piece of paper and said, "This person, is it you who awakened?" Su Yuntao quickly took it, glanced at it, and his brain quickly ran, searching for relevant memories. After a moment, Su Yuntao remembered, "Your Highness, it was me who awakened 6 years ago." Her innate soul power was only a trace, not even half level. I almost mistakenly thought she didn't have soul power. Due to her low soul power, even the junior college doesn't want her. And her martial soul is flawed, and on cloudy and rainy days, she will be struck by lightning. According to the master of Nodding College, her martial soul belongs to the malignant mutation of blue-silver grass, which is prone to thunder. Not to mention becoming a soul master, it is difficult to become an ordinary person. Find her and tell me her location. Remember not to tell anyone about this. Sagia's voice was flat, but there was an unquestionable majesty that shook Su Yuntao's heart. Step back now. Yes. Su Yuntao withdrew from the palace and looked at the dazzling sunlight, feeling somewhat unreal. Are you lucky enough to be a dog? Being able to handle affairs for such adults. If Cece knew I was working for adults, she would definitely agree to my pursuit. Su Yuntao's blood boiled. However, why do adults need to find someone who doesn't even have half a level of innate soul power? Su Yuntao scratched his head, lost in thought. Because of the martial soul. A small grass that is always struck by lightning. It's even more useless than blue-silver grass. What's the use of such a useless martial soul? Within the palace, Your Highness, I think Su Yuntao is a bit unreliable. He is too weak, said a maid. It doesn't matter, it's just a casual move. There are wins and losses on the board, just keep most of them in a winning state. No one can always win, even God is the same. Saga doesn't need to keep winning, just become the ultimate winner. Everyone in the world has value, both righteous and villainous, and the role of the petty has its own. Reasonable utilization can also bring value to the enemy. The Papal Palace, Saga, the only grandson of Golden Crocodile Douluo, inherited the 6-winged angel martial soul from the next generation. It's really nauseating. The voice of Bibidong Senhan echoed in the papal hall. 6-winged angel. The martial soul of that man. Every time she heard this word, she couldn't help but feel a surge of killing intent. Thinking of that dark month, she wished to kill all the six-winged angel soul owners in the world. There are 2 six-winged angels in the world that have already made her very restless, and now there is another one. The chrysanthemum Douluo moon past kneeling below felt a chill. I secretly prayed to Bibidong not to do anything foolish. Once the golden crocodile Douluo finds out, it will definitely cause a huge uproar. Humph. Where does he often go? Bibidong said coldly. The library, said Yuguan with a thud in her heart. Step back now. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Message Leakage. The Wrath of the Golden Crocodile. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Message Leakage. The Wrath of the Golden Crocodile. A few days later, the awakening of the six-winged angel's martial soul by Saga spread, and various forces were boiling, casting their eyes with endless malice onto the martial soul hall. Many scouts entered the martial soul hall to gather information and search for the location of Saga. The martial soul hall is already strong enough, suppressing many forces that cannot breathe. The 2 empires submit a large amount of gold soul coins to the martial soul hall every year, which then distributes them to common soul masters. The famed martial soul hall has been taken, and the losses will be taken by the 2 empires. If it weren't for the strength of the martial soul hall, the 2 empires wouldn't have been so oppressive. If the martial soul hall is even stronger, is there still a possibility for the empire and major forces to exist? The six-winged angel martial soul has always been a secret of the martial soul hall, rarely exposed to the public. Only major powers know about it, and ordinary soul masters are unaware of the existence of the six-winged angel martial soul. After all, the owners of the six-winged angel martial soul have been popes throughout history. As a pope, no one can use their own hands to solve 99% of the problems under their title Douluo. Before the news spread, even the 3 previous sects were not very familiar with the six-winged angel soul. I only know that the six-winged angel is the inherited martial soul of the 1,000 schools in the martial soul hall, but I don't know that the six-winged angel's martial soul is at the divine level, with innate soul power as high as level 20. For the first time, ordinary people know that the statue of the six-winged angel enshrined in the martial soul hall is not fake. There are indeed 6-winged angel martial souls. Still a divine level martial soul. A powerful existence that surpasses top-level martial souls. Innate soul power level 20. Breaking the recognition of the highest innate level 10 in the soul master realm. Just wake up and you can obtain 2 soul rings to become a great soul master. You should know that on Douluo continent, there are many soul masters who only become great soul masters after practicing for a lifetime. The divine level martial soul has just awakened and is a great soul master. The difference is really too big. After the concept of divine level martial soul was spread, people became more revered for the martial soul hall, and major forces became even more wary of the martial soul hall. Especially the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex sect. They have always boasted that the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex is the world's #1 beast martial soul. According to the division of martial souls in the Soul Master realm, the 6-winged angel martial soul is also a beast martial soul. It is obvious that the 6-winged angel martial soul is stronger than the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex martial soul. The innate soul power of the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex martial soul ranges from level 6 to level 10, with very few innate full soul power, while the 6-winged angel martial soul has an innate level 20 soul power. The Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex soul is not worthy of lifting shoes for the 6-winged angel soul. Upon learning about this, Golden Crocodile Douluo was extremely angry and decided to have a grandson. Naturally, he wanted to hide the news and expose the existence of Saga when she grew up. Who did it? I killed him. The angry roar of the Golden Crocodile Douluo echoed through the altar. Finally, after investigation, it was found that it was done by a knight in the main hall of the martial soul. On the day of awakening, he was on a guard mission and accidentally saw Saga awakening the 6-winged angel martial soul. He got drunk and accidentally revealed it. The atmosphere in the worship hall was tense for 3 consecutive days, and several worshippers vaguely guessed that there was a mastermind behind the matter. The so-called knight is just a chess piece. Regarding the second offering of the Golden Crocodile Douluo, no one dares to say much. There is no evidence to point to Bibidong about the news leak, but Golden Crocodile Douluo is not foolish. He knows that Bibidong detests angel martial souls, and only Bibidong has the motivation and courage to expose the existence of Saga in the vast martial soul hall. Angry Golden Crocodile Douluo intends to go to the papal palace and engage in a major battle with Bibidong. The result was stopped by Saga, and others didn't know the details of Bibidong. Didn't Saga know? After the fall of Qianshuan, Bibidong monopolized the power under the default of Qiandao Lu, using the power of the martial soul hall to hunt for a suitable soul ring for his second martial soul. With the increase of the second martial soul ring, he quickly increased his soul power, and now his soul power is at least 98 levels. The combat power of Golden Crocodile Douluo is considered strong at level 98, but compared to the second-ranked martial soul in the east, all of her are black eternal soul rings, which greatly increases her strength. Coupled with the advantage of twin martial souls, her combat power is still above that of Golden Crocodile Douluo. Just relying on the Golden Crocodile Douluo alone is not a match for Bibidong. The intercepted Golden Crocodile Douluo had no choice but to find a way to make up for the situation. The Golden Crocodile publicly revealed the identity of Saga and claimed that whoever dared to move Saga would destroy the upper 3 and lower 4, as well as the high-ranking officials and nobles of the 2 empires. It is indiscriminate killing. As long as something happens to Saga, Golden Crocodile Douluo will transform into an assassin and gradually eliminate the forces that may kill Saga. Kill one and run. Kill another one after a while. The deterrent power of the 98-level Super Douluo can be imagined. All major forces don't want to provoke a Super Douluo. I had to hide my malice first and wait for the opportunity in the dark. As for the knight who made a slip of the tongue, he died suddenly at home the day after the investigation results came out, and his family was also exiled, unable to enter the martial soul city for life. The Golden Crocodile Douluo has not implicated the knight family, but there are countless people in the martial soul hall who want to please the Golden Crocodile Douluo. It is uncertain whether the knight family can live to the place of exile. 7 Treasures Glass Sect Ning Fengji and Jian Douluo sat in the palace, discussing the matter of Saga. Innate soul power of level 20, divine level martial soul. Such a genius in the martial soul hall will inevitably affect the 7 treasures of the glass sect in the future. Should we strangle him in advance? Gu Douluo said in a deep voice, with a strong killing intent as soon as he spoke. Relying on the spatial characteristics of the Bone Dragon martial soul, Bone Douluo has done similar things. No way, that kid's grandfather is Golden Crocodile Douluo. If I remember correctly, Golden Crocodile Douluo was a 98-level Super Douluo 50 years ago, so I can't provoke him. Sword Douluo shook his head. The higher the level, the clearer the gap between the titles of Douluo. The 98-level Golden Crocodile Douluo and Bone Douluo were completely free from pressure when they were beaten alone. Even the Golden Crocodile Douluo alone can defeat the high-level combat power of the 7 Treasures Glass Sect. What? Do you say using a sea of people tactic to pile up? The Golden Crocodile Douluo is tired from fighting. He returns to the temple of worship to recover. Who can stop the Golden Crocodile Douluo? Or who dares to break into the temple of worship and kill the Golden Crocodile Douluo? After recovering, the Golden Crocodile Douluo can launch a new round of slaughter. It really angered the Golden Crocodile Douluo, and even the 7 Treasures Glass Sect is about to be destroyed. Uncle Jian is right. Saga wants to kill, but it cannot be the 7 Treasures and Glass Sect who will take action. Saga is the only grandson of the Golden Crocodile Douluo. Killing Saga will make the 7 Treasures and Glass Sect unable to stop the insane Golden Crocodile Douluo, Ning Fengji said. Do you mean to borrow a knife to kill? The Haotian sect avoids the world and the lower four sect dare not take action, so the only one left is the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex sect. Ning Feng's eyes flickered with an inexplicable expression. I don't know if the old dragon of the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex sect will be fooled. He wants to join 3 sects to fight against the martial soul hall, but sometimes if he can, he also needs to. The major forces in Douluo continent have collected intelligence about Saga, and the small forces Sai, worried that Saga will awaken and the martial soul hall will become stronger. The powerful forces want to strangle Saga, but they are worried that the Golden Crocodile Douluo will go crazy and slaughter wildly. Nottingham City Tang San, who had just returned from forging iron, felt that his soul power had increased by another level, so he happily went to find Yu Xiaojiang. At this moment, Yu Xiaojiang was chatting with several teachers from Notting College, both inside and outside, showing off Tang San's talent in elevating his teaching ability. Several teachers felt speechless for a moment, who didn't know that Yu Xiaojiang was just a guy fishing for fame and reputation. Besides, Tang San was born with full soul power. If they had taught him, he could have broken through to level 20 before the age of 10. The most crucial thing is that Tang San is very hardworking, without supervision. Usually, Yu Xiaojiang only teaches some popular theories, and there is no need to bother persuading Tang San to practice. Tang San's current achievements are largely due to his own efforts. It's none of your business, Yu Xiaojiang. Show off your butt. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Tang San's Pride. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Tang San's Pride. Dong 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 dong, teacher. It's the mistress, come on in. We happen to be talking about you, Yu Xiaojiang said with a smile. After Tang San entered the door, he saw several teachers with a bad expression and thought they had belittled Yu Xiaojiang again, feeling extremely dissatisfied in his heart. Thinking of this, Tang San definitely stands out for his teacher. Teacher, thanks to your guidance, I have surpassed level 19. Tang San said. It's level 19. Yu Xiaojiang suddenly stood up and excitedly walked up to Tang San, grabbing his arm. Ha ha ha. You truly deserve to be my disciple, Yu Xiaojiang. You're 8 years old and 19 level. You're much better than those useless students in Notting College. Yu Xiaojiang laughed heartily. Tang San, are you really at level 19? The teacher beside couldn't help but ask. Tang San is less than 9 years old. Just 8.5 years old. According to Tang San's cultivation speed, it is not a problem to break through level 20 before the age of 9. A great soul master under the age of 9. On the other hand, these college teachers are only great soul masters at the age of several decades. Tang San became increasingly dissatisfied and questioned his words. He had no professional ethics, and such a person was also a teacher at Notting College. Walking with the teacher, Notting College was really rotten to the bone. Don't teachers believe me? Of course not, the teacher shook his head. I was able to break through level 19 thanks to my teacher's guidance. Without my teacher's guidance, I wouldn't be who I am today, Tang Sanyi said solemnly. Yu Xiaojiang's face was filled with satisfaction. Good child, it's not in vain for me to teach with all my heart. The teacher frowned and felt displeased with Tang San's tone. He was at least a teacher, and Tang San was a student. It's really impolite for students to speak to teachers in this tone. Then you must work hard and not embarrass the master. There is a person with innate level 20 soul power in the martial soul hall recently. You need to practice quickly and not be surpassed by a 6-year-old child. 20 levels of innate soul power. Teachers may not know, the highest level of innate soul power is 10 levels, right? Tang San's tone had a hint of yin and yang. Ordinary martial souls have a maximum of 10 innate levels, so they are called innate full soul power. However, there is one type of martial soul that is an exception. That's the 6-winged angel. Divine level martial soul. a powerful existence that surpasses top-level martial souls. The martial soul hall inherits martial souls for tens of thousands of years. The innate soul power is level 20. The teacher squinted his eyes and said slowly. Impossible, the teacher said that the highest level of innate soul power is 10 levels. I have never heard of any divine level martial soul, Tang-san insisted. I haven't heard of you being ignorant and reading more if you know less. The newspaper of the Heavenly Do Empire has reported on the matter of divine level martial souls. Whenever your master and disciple buy a newspaper to read, they can know that the recent fire is the emergence of a genius with divine level martial souls in the martial soul hall. The teacher's words were mixed with a sarcastic tone. Nonsense. Is the news in the newspaper necessarily true? Have you confirmed it? Tang-san stubbornly retorted. Yu Xiaojiang furrowed his brows as he learned many secrets about the martial soul hall through Bibidong, including the secrets about the six-winged angel martial soul. The martial soul symbolizing the spokesperson of God. The core martial soul of the martial soul hall. Didn't Bibidong say that the six-winged angel martial soul is a martial soul passed down from generation to generation in the martial soul hall, and won't it be easily revealed to others? Give me a newspaper, Yu Xiaojiang said to the teacher. The teacher pursed his lips and despised Yu Xiaojiang in his heart. He released 10 core theories that were not recognized, and he really thought he was a master. If you were really a master, would you be eating and drinking in the Junior Soul Master Academy? If you hadn't known the dean, you would have been expelled from the junior college long ago. I know you can't afford a newspaper, so I'll give you one. Take a good look. Even the martial soul hall admits to the matter of divine level martial souls, and your disciple denies it like a clown. Is it possible that you are more authoritative than the martial soul hall? The teacher threw out a newspaper, and when Yu Xiaojiang heard the words, martial soul hall, his face turned black. Can the martial soul hall, which is not as good as bullshit, have his authority? He's a master. How can the martial soul hall understand martial souls better than him? He is the person who understands martial souls the most in the world. Yu Xiaojiang picked up the newspaper and scanned it, suddenly stiffening his body. Damn it, the martial soul hall has produced such a genius. Such a genius should be taught by him in order to become a strong person. Those mediocre talents in the martial soul hall can only teach geniuses to be useless. For a moment, Yu Xiaojiang thought a lot, thinking about killing people and silencing their mouths, wanting Tang-san to rise up, killing the genius of the martial soul hall, proving himself, and also wanting to go to the martial soul hall to meet Bibidong and have the soul master of the divine level martial soul worship him as his teacher. A divine level martial soul master can better prove his identity as a master. And his theory. Tang-san saw the master's face constantly changing and asked with concern, "Teacher, what's wrong with you?" He is right, the innate soul power of the six-winged angel's martial soul is indeed level 20. The six-winged angel is the legendary soul of the angel god, so it can break the limit of level 10. There are only 2 divine level martial souls in the world, and they are rarely born, so I didn't teach you, Yu Xiaojiang said lightly, looking like an expert. Tang-san didn't feel embarrassed upon hearing this, he just thought that Yu Xiaojiang had forgotten to teach him. The teacher also said that there are only 2 divine level martial souls, and it is normal to forget them. However, upon hearing that the six-winged angel's martial soul was so powerful, Tang-san frowned. Teacher, as you say, isn't the six-winged angel martial soul invincible? Of course not. The former pope was also the six-winged angel martial soul, defeated by the Haotian hammer martial soul. The quality of martial souls does not represent everything, divine level martial souls only have a high starting point. There are no useless martial souls in the world, only useless soul masters. If the soul masters are strong enough and work hard enough, they can change their destiny against the heavens. Tang nodded and was pleasantly surprised. Isn't his second martial soul the Haotian hammer? Since someone used the Haotian hammer to defeat the six-winged angel before, with the guidance of a master and carrying twin martial souls, he will definitely be stronger. The six-winged angel's martial soul is not enough to fear. Teacher, besides the six-winged angel, what is another divine-level martial soul? Tang-san asked curiously. Sea God martial soul. Like angel martial soul, it is a symbol of the spokesperson for Sea God, said Yu Xiaojiang. Several teachers looked at each other and saw the sarcasm and disdain in each other's eyes. Sea God martial soul. Master, a soul master in his 20s, where did he know about the Sea God martial soul? Just casually spreading rumors and deceiving Tang-san. If it were before, they would definitely remind Tang-san not to believe what Yu Xiaojiang said. But now it's not possible. Tang-san has repeatedly clashed, like a bull with angry hair and a murderous intent in his eyes, not like a student. Nodding City, inside a tavern. Have you heard? There is a genius in the martial soul hall who has an innate level 20 soul power and a divine level martial soul. A great soul master took a sip of wine and chatted with his companions. I already knew. I used to think that the angel statue enshrined in the martial soul hall was just a decoration to fool ordinary people. I didn't expect that there really was an angel martial soul, and when I woke up, it was level 20. I had been practicing for more than 20 years before reaching level 23. He just woke up and caught up with me. The world is really unfair. There's no such thing as fairness. Martial souls are the biggest unfairness. We're okay, with soul power, we can become soul masters and live a life full of wine and meat. Those ordinary people without soul power can't eat much stewed meat all year round. Compared to them, we are much better. No wonder Haotian's sect was forced to seal the mountain by the martial soul hall. It turns out that the martial soul hall still hides such a strong martial soul. What is the world's first weapon martial soul, the first beast martial soul, and the highest level of innate soul power is only 10 levels, how can it compare to the six-winged angel? As soon as the man finished speaking, a terrifying aura rose from behind. Haotian's sect cannot be humiliated. With a roar, a huge hammer appeared and smashed the man into flesh. The rest of the tavern did not escape and were all buried in the tavern. End of this chapter.